Blog Talk Radio.
I was a hard-drinking sinner with blood on my hands. I was a hard-drinking sinner, a gun in my hands, drinking 40 pounds for dinner till I met a big man. And the man said, how do we do? 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 Well, I feel like reborn. My good eyes witness misery, but I'm feeling alright, cause the man said, how do we do? 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 Well, I'm feeling reborn, I'm feeling new, cause the man said, how do we do?
Hey guys, this is Holly with the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal Show. Ryan will join me later on tonight. Tonight we're interviewing Pat Bussard, and what an awesome weekend, guys. I don't know about you guys. I know, well, the week was kind of hard for me. My son was in the hospital. He's asthmatic, so a lot of trouble there with the season changes. Like I said, Ron will be joining me later, but tonight we have Pat Bussard. She is a very talented psychic medium, author, photographer, columnist, and paranormal investigator. Can we say Miss Para multitasker? I'm telling you, she reminds me a lot like me, trying to handle everything at once. But hey, we're good at it. We're women. We're good at stuff like that. I wanted to bring up something here from HuffPost. Interesting article on a ghost-like figure showing up on the police station video in New Mexico. Now, a lot of my friends have shared this with me, and I haven't got to watch it yet, but I did share it for everybody to see and kind of get comments on our Facebook. So in New Mexico, apparently there is a ghost haunting the police station. Interesting. They've debunked it from, as being a bug or anything like that. So, I'm looking forward to watching this video, but you guys let me know what you think about the video. Um, but other than that, I wanted to get into what's going to be going on in the coming weeks. For me, well, it's kind of busy. I think all our paranormal investigators know that once you head into October, everything seems to pick up. Not only activity, but cases and just events. A lot of people love the paranormal events, and we have fun with them. I know for me, I've got in my group, Black Mountain Paranormal Society, we have a ghost walk coming up for the town of Vico, Kentucky. And Vico really made the headlines here lately for its mayor. He is the first gay mayor to come out and pass legislation for being bi. So that's pretty cool. And it's got a lot of attention. There's actually going to be a reality show around the mayor down there. So definitely in October in Vico, Kentucky. And let's talk about some cases. We have an emergency case coming up for us. And like I said, we're in October. Everybody starts getting busy. Emergency cases especially. I know with ours, we're dealing with a child. And when you deal with a child, that's one of the things you want to go in. Definitely drop everything and go forth to. We're looking forward to helping this family and seeing if we can get more answers to their claims and, try to let them live in peace with whatever's there or, try to get rid of it or whatever. But I want to talk about Pat a little bit before she comes on. I actually haven't got she's actually calling in. No. But me and Pat haven't got to meet yet, but we have chatted online before because we do have a mutual, I guess you can say a client. We're helping out, Miss Emily, and I think they're listening. So, Miss Emily, big shout out to you, John, Kim, all you out there. Love you guys. And Miss Emily is a very gifted medium herself, coming into her abilities, and that's something I want to talk to Pat about tonight as well, because I know some of the people that's going to be listening really want to get into the more of the mediumship part of this, and I'm very interested to know too, because I help a lot of clients. I'm still learning myself, as everybody is in this business, and nobody's perfect, and we all learn from each other. We're kind of each other's teachers, and I'm definitely interested in asking her some of them questions. Let's see. I think I might have Pat on the line, so let's see.
Hello.
Hey. Hi, how are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. I'm testing out a new mic tonight, so.
Oh, okay. Me too.
Okay, good. Hey, we're one of the same. How was your weekend, Pat?
It was actually very good. It was a very relaxing weekend. Actually got some photography, finished some editing that I needed to do, so it was very productive.
Heck yeah. And then you got to rest up some, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a type A. I'm ADD, and so I've got that twitchy personality type where I'm always doing something. So yeah, rest is something I've told myself I can do when I'm dead.
Hey, that sounds a lot like me. When I was reading off, everything you sent me, I was like, oh my gosh, Pat, it's so much like me, because I'm such a multitasker, and you definitely are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I like to think I'm good at it.
Well, it's like any other skill set. You either learn it or you're born with it. In my case, where you're ADD, I don't know if you are or not, but it's just something that we are. Yeah, we're natural multitaskers. And, that's actually one of the things that they're finding a correlation with psychic ability is people who have ADD or ADHD may be inclined to that. So, yeah.
Yes, that is something definitely I want to get into because, yeah, that definitely goes around some questions I got for you. But I know there's a lot of people listening who have interest in that, and I'm very interested. As you know, we've talked before about Miss Emily, and I think they're listening tonight too. But I'll get into that later. But I really wanted to start for our newer listeners, and I know you have some fans listening too. And first of all, thank everybody for listening, and I know Pat does as well.
Absolutely, thank you.
And but I really wanted to. I know you sent me a lot of information over to go by, and I appreciate that so much. And I like to really. I know you said that. I want to start with your childhood. You said that you grew up with your mother and grandmother, and they really had a lot of influence on your choices, and they was very open-minded. And can you tell us a little bit about them and how they influenced you growing up, and when you realized you had psychic abilities?
Well, my first memory was, and it's actually outlined in my book, but my first memory was of my mother's astral projection. We actually lived in Fairbanks, Alaska. My father was in the Air Force at the time, and I saw my mother's image. I don't know how else to describe it except her image floated into the room, and I saw it lay back down into her body. And so I was a totally confused 3.5, 4-year-old. And a few months later, my mother said that I got mad at her and said, well, it doesn't matter what you say because you're not my mommy anyway. Because I was so confused. I didn't know who this person was. It was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And it wasn't until later, of course, that I realized that I'd witnessed her astral projection. And that was basically my childhood was, and that was my first encounter with a discarnate spirit, which happened to be the living spirit of my mother. And after that, it was on. I saw, I just made contact with the spirit world. It was just, I suppose, the way that I was born. But both my mother and my grandmother also have abilities.
Right. What abilities do they have? Do they have the same as you, or are they different?
Well, actually, my grandmother was extremely psychic. She was one of those people that could tell you who was calling before they, knew it themselves. And and I know that this is something that a lot of people don't recommend, and I certainly don't recommend it to everyone either, but her choice of tool was the Ouija board. And I actually witnessed the board fly from her hands and hit the wall one day when she said it was mad at her. And but this is the story. I have to tell you the story about my grandmother because she's so funny. She couldn't drive at all. This woman was scary on the road. And so she had taken the test, the driver's test, 4 different times. And had failed it miserably 4 different times. This is when you actually had to parallel park. Well, she went and asked the board. She was going for her 5th time. And the board told her that she would fail, but she would get her license. So she was so mad at the board. But she went, took the exam, and it was the same. It was in Lewisburg, West Virginia. So same state trooper, and she failed miserably. And he told her, he said, Mrs. Lewis, he said, you've been in this car, this specific time, and you have failed 5 different times. I am not going to make you come back. And he gave her her license. So the board had told her the truth, that she would fail, but she would get her license. And that's exactly what happened. That's the type of I guess, talent that she had. My mother was just a natural energy reader. She was a palm reader. And I'll never forget, we had a friend, and he'd come to visit. And she told him, she said, don't go home. I mean, she had taken his palm and read it, and she got a vision. And she told him, she said, don't go home tonight. She said, if you do, you're going to die. And, of course, he laughed. And so he took off, and we actually heard the car wreck. We actually heard him as he was hit head-on by a drunk. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of, when I say I was raised in a very eclectic, open atmosphere, I was. And my first reading material was actually a series called Mysteries of the World. And my grandmother was a huge fan of Eric von Däniken. So reading Chariots of the Gods was like required reading around the house. So, the reading material, just how open she was, how talented these women were. It was a great household. It was like Hogwarts on a smaller level.
Oh, see, I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Like, see, this is when I come across parents and they take this interest in their kids and they, support their kids. But you have more than that. You had, oh my God, like, I think everybody should grow up in a household that way. Not everybody is blessed to be open. Not everybody's, with one, within, one with themselves, but go ahead.
I will tell you, that it is a double-edged sword. I mean, I as a child, I actually closed down for a few years because it became too much. I mean, it was just overwhelming. Right. And when I was 13 years old, I'll never forget it. Well, I was about 12. I told my spirit guides, I said, you guys have to go away. I mean, people think I'm nuts, I mean, when you're telling people, things and you're scaring kids, think about it. You're able to tell people things and see the dead. And so that doesn't make you exactly popular among your peers. When, by the time I was 10 years old, I was a goth kid before goth was cool people. And I would go we had a little graveyard above the house, and I would go to this old country graveyard, and there was this tree, and I would always take a book, and I'd read in the tree. And it was really cool, and probably did for several years. And then one day I looked down, and I'd seen spirits before, and they were just standing there doing their thing. But all of a sudden, I saw this man in black. And somebody asked me, because I said he had a long jacket on, and somebody actually asked me, well, did he look like somebody from the past? And I said, no, he didn't. He looked like somebody from the future. But it scared me so bad that I got down out of the tree and went running from the graveyard and never went back. Now, to scare me, that's saying something. Because I'm used to seeing spirits, but this was something completely different, and I felt its energy was different, and I didn't go back.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, I couldn't blame you there. Going back to that was actually one of my next questions, about how your abilities affected, everyday life now, but as a child, I could imagine, because I actually have two of my kids are very open, and my middle one, he likes to shy away from it. It more or less scares him, the things that he sees. Now my youngest, Jonah, like me, he's like, Mommy, I see ghosts. It's like, oh, okay, right. But so as far as abilities, and you was talking about friends and stuff, and see, for me, in school, I was more of the shy kid, but now I'm very open, like, I got to talk to everybody in the world kind of person. So whenever I get information like that, I'm always like, oh, my God, I got to tell you something, I can't keep it from people, so I could never be the normal kid. Right.
Well, as the aunt said in the movie Practical Magic, normal is highly overrated, and I believe that.
Yes.
You have to accept who you are, whether you're someone that we would consider normal and someone who has maybe an abnormal skill set or an abnormal gift. And again, you have to understand, this is a double-edged sword. I didn't. If a child is interested in, expanding their gift, that's a beautiful thing. But if if it becomes too much, then, the child really needs to be able to decide at that point whether or not it's something that they want to continue. You have to understand, I mean, now I wake up, when I'm asleep, I wake up and there's people sometimes, or a person sometimes. I was at the Boxwood Inn, which is this absolutely amazing, uber haunted Victorian era inn. Oh, it's beautiful. It's down at in Newport News. So they put me in a room, and they didn't tell me whose room it was. But that night, I woke up, and there's this woman standing there. I'm like, oh, man, trying to get a night's sleep. So so I go and talk with the woman who had invited us, and we stayed with. And I described the woman, and she said that's her. And it's a woman that is attached to this inn. But when you're a child and you wake up and there's a stranger there staring at you or standing next to the bed or trying to make some sort of contact, it can be extremely overwhelming, even energetically. So, and I had the support of two amazing women, and I still chose to shut down for a few years. And when I say shut down, I mean it was like I'm not going to see this. And the best way to shut down is pretend like you don't see it and start to narrow your psychic vision is what I call it. And so I blocked it out, but it was so strong in me. It's like it just kept popping back in. Finally, I was about 16. I'm like, forget it. so
just let it go.
Yeah. Just let it go. I was old enough by then to kind of handle it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, kudos to your grandmother and your mother. They've been through it. They supported each other, and I mean, to have that mother, like, it's all handed down. You mother to mother and to daughter, and that's the awesome bond too. Like, you guys have to have like the most awesome bond ever.
We were extremely close, and mediums talk about what we call soul groups, that when we're in this lifetime, whatever lifetime we're in, that the people that it's either people that you meet and you make that immediate bond with, or it's the people in your family. And it's so deep at the soul level that people choose to come back as soul groups. Whenever I read for people, it is so rare that I see somebody beyond a grandmother or a mother, because they choose to wait for those that they love, and then they cross over. I mean, it's that simple. So basically, they're coming back as groups. They've helped their loved one over. That loved one may decide to stay in contact with the people that are still here, and then the others choose maybe to be reincarnated. But I will tell you that people. And I listen to some investigators, and every aspect, like you said, no one has all the answers. But in my experience, just because you cross over the veil and you don't choose to stay in this physical realm doesn't mean that you don't come back and forth. You do.
Right. I agree.
Absolutely. But there are some souls that are as we call it, earthbound. They've decided to stay earthbound just in this physical plane. And we're talking about the cognizant or the intelligent ghost. Not just the impression in time, where it's almost like a record being played again and again. That's just an impression, an energetic impression in time and space. So.
Right. And speaking of hauntings like that, we have a lot of them around here. People don't realize, and well, a lot of people don't realize either too is we have a lot of haunted locations. I put that in parentheses because these people kind of made it into a haunted location. They put that into, it's like over years and years they've put thought forms into this location that it is haunted. And people don't realize that when you put thought forms in, it's, your words are power.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Words are power, but it's not the words. It's the thought and the energy. Everything is energy, and so once you the words are the physical manifestation, if you will, in in our plane of the thought process, which of course is all energetic. It's all an electrical system, and so once we project, then yes, that becomes power. But I do believe that there is a possibility of that sort of manifestation. But usually the sites that they have, unless it's a house or something, but say you've got a hospital and you want to promote it as a haunted hospital, I can almost guarantee you that even if you Yeah, yeah. See what I'm saying? If you have that kind of that energy that was already seething throughout the halls and the rooms of a place like that, then you're definitely going to have somebody that's going to be able to walk in that is in touch with that sort of energy and be able to connect with it. But I agree with you. Yes, I do believe. Say somebody has a haunted house and or a house, and they are wanting investigators to come in. I was with an investigative team that went to a house, and this woman was insistent that she had a haunted house. Well, as soon as I met her, her energy was way off, and I know this energy is bipolar energy. I can almost every time I'm near someone with that energy, I feel it. And so I felt this urgency in her to prove that there was this manifestation of ghostly activity. But everything that she pointed to, in a photograph or in audio that she had, we were able to dispel. One of them was like a screaming or a screeching ghost. But as soon as we opened the door to it was an old coal stove downstairs, there's the squeak. I mean, it's like, it's not a screaming ghost, it's a squeaking door. See what I'm saying?
Right.
But she wanted it so badly that it was also mixed in with something, some energy that we couldn't dispel. And I really felt that what it was, she was drawing a dark energy to her. You see what I'm saying?
Listen, we've been there, same situation, and we went to this house, and the lady was like, we could tell she was off, I mean, you didn't have to be a psychic to even tell she was off, if you had some common sense to know enough. But she a very disturbing past, I guess, in her childhood, and you could tell she wanted the attention, and she was drawn in something very dark. It was a shadow person, and it was dark. It was, feeding off of her fears and her lack of, it was just potent. The environment was potent. She is like she wanted it because there was attention for her. So us being in the house was giving her attention. But you can't help somebody like that. You can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. Second of all, can't realize that they're the issue.
Right. No, I'm in complete agreement. Yeah. And the thing is, here's something teams need to be aware of too. Some people like that will actually team shop, and they'll go through teams until they find a team that will validate, what they want.
That's funny you said that because, we're with the Virginia has this assembly together. I don't know if you've seen it online, but I reckon like some people's been going through team searching, and I'm like, well, nobody wants us because we're over here in the butthole of Virginia, Nobody knows we're over here, so they won't contact us. But that's awful. I didn't understand that. When going in and investigating, I know why I come in investigating, but that's a different side of investigating, and people don't understand that we deal with people like that. And that's something that you have to be aware of. And I tell people, I'm like, listen, when we go in to investigate with people, and I'm, your case manager, you have to really watch out for people with these, I call them, mental health issues. That's what they are. And they are. For some people, if you're not educated enough to know the difference, then, you have to be really careful about going in people's houses.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And also, you are dealing with a real issue, and that is, and it really is a sad issue, that you have a person so desperate for attention. I'm sure they've got a lot of these types in Hollywood, but out here it's not quite as much. But they're so desperate for attention that even drawing this kind of negative energy into their life seems to be necessary for them in order to, quench that thirst for, human, just a human touch. It really is a sad situation, but it's also a dangerous one because you're.
Well, yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
The one we was dealing with. It wasn't just her; it was her child. So, that's a whole different ballgame.
Wow, I know who you're talking about.
Do you? Are we talking about the same
so.
person?
We'll talk later.
Later on, girl.
Yeah, later on. We won't identify anybody here, but I think so. Yes, I do. Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about.
We're from the same area, so yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Okay, Pat, I know. See, I can't get past that now. Now we're on the same level. We know. Anyway. Awkward.
Yep.
Not really. Okay, so my next question was, for people that has kids that have abilities or, don't, parents out there, I know anybody that's going to be listening to this knows, about psychic abilities somewhat, but for people dealing with it in their children or in themselves, what advice would you give as, first of all, parents of children, who have abilities?
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest with you, many children do have abilities, and usually, they either shut it down themselves, or there are cases where, of course, the family is instrumental in saying, "Shh, Billy, don't say that because people are going to think you're crazy."
Right.
And so that makes them bring that energy back, and they're no longer contacting, if you will, this energy, whether by mistake or on purpose, and then it just cuts off contact. This is my advice for parents. Whatever the child wants. It's that simple. If the child wants, if this is something they want to explore, then support it. If this is something that scares the crap out of them, then you need to back off, because, the one thing I don't want to see is a parent in any way, shape, or form thinking they're going to get 15 minutes of fame off of their kid's ability. And that's a no-no in my estimation. But if it's a child that truly loves this, and I will tell you, I'm a spirit-guided psychic medium. I've always had spirit guides from the time I was a child. And I'll tell you a story if you remind me of that. But because I was spirit-led, I always had a spirit guide telling me what I can and what I cannot do in the ethereal realm, and, protecting me, if you will, from really negative energy. I was able to identify that, from the time I was extremely small, and there's almost like, I wasn't aware of white light. I wasn't aware of, of shielding and warding, and yet I was protected from that by a spirit guide. So someone who may not have that initially, or they haven't brought in that spirit guide energy, they're wide open.
Oh yeah,
and so they're going to be seeing some pretty dark things, and that's why you have kids say, "Hey, I just saw red eyes in my closet." Well, parents really need to pay attention to that because they've really seen that. They're not making this up. Children don't make things up. Well, they do. Oh. I'll take that back. They have vivid imaginations. But there's a terror involved in that. If you can look at your child and know that they're afraid, then you need to put some weight on that and question your child a little more about what he or she is seeing or hearing.
Well, it's funny you say that because, when I talk about Kanan, my middle one, he's terrified. And he's been terrified since he was 2. And I'm totally, I know that, so I don't try to make him or force him to talk about it. Every once in a while I'll say, Kanan, Mommy's here, you can talk to me anytime about it. And I've told him about shielding and everything. And with Jonah, it's funny because he's 7, but he just opened up this year. I mean, and it was a spirit not only connected with us, but Miss Emily too. So very interesting story.
Oh, good.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know if I know you're down there, but if you got to know Jonathan while you was there.
Let's see. When I was visiting Emily, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I met her and I really spent the time with Emily and her parents that day.
Yeah, Well, I'm talking about a spirit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
No, I mean I was.
Civil War.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That day we were really just talking about Emily, and what I did was get in touch with some of the things that she was seeing and the energy that was around her. She is. She's a very interesting energy. The only thing that I would recommend for anyone working with her is to take it very, very slowly with her.
Oh, definitely.
As far as opening up to this, because I really feel that she's a bit more vulnerable than some other energy that I've worked with, and vulnerability. You have to be very careful with that because you're an open light, and so when you have that kind of spiritual energy, you're going to attract things, and both positive and negative. So you just have to be, as you guide her, you need to make sure that at every step she understands and she's able to protect herself and to be able to close down when she wishes to close down. Even I do that now. I mean, I mean, think about it. If you were open 24/7, it would be a miserable existence. And sometimes you can't help it. There's a spirit so strong that they're going to step forward, and you're going to have to deal with it. I mean, one day I'm trying to just have a nice day, and I'm out with my daughter, and we're having, give you an example, I'm having coffee and a donut at Dunkin' Donuts. We're outside, and all of a sudden my spirit guide says Kathy, and the only two people around me are the two people behind me. And so little old lady and a man and her dog. And I looked at the lady and I said, do you know a Kathy? And she started crying, and her best friend Kathy had just had a brain embolism and had been rushed to a major hospital, and they didn't expect her to make it. And I told her, I said, you need to contact her or her family if you can. I mean, she was in what we call the in-between. She was checking out, as we call it.
Right.
And I will tell you, in my experience, I contact people who are in comas. I contact people who are in the in-between, which is the crossing over. And so the energy is a little different. We are connected to our bodies until the body ceases to function. I mean, we have the silver cord. They say if you are an energy practitioner, someone like myself or someone who's a healer, someone like that we have a golden cord. I don't know. I think everybody's kind of issued the same, but there's a cord, an energetic cord. So until the body ceases to function, we're kind of stuck there in the in between. We can't cross on over. But Miss Emily is a very sweet energy. I like her.
She is. Like, me and her bonded like sisters. Like, as soon as we met, it was just, and the family's we're all really close now. And but I want to go back to, you intrigued me when you said you saw your mom. Your first experience was before, and it was astral projection. I have things going on with myself, but with me, when I first started, it was through astral projection. So I definitely understand, everything that you're saying, and I know, when I come on the show, sometimes I think I talk, and some people's like, "What are you saying?" Because with mine, I tell people, I'm like, I've seen things that would probably make people, if you told a regular doctor, they'd put you in a nut house. But what I wanted to tell you is a story. We had a case a couple of months ago down in Coburn, Virginia, and the girl, wanted to see him because she was having some stuff going on in her house, around the property or whatever. Anyway, without going, which it wasn't a private case, but she did tell me at the end of the investigation, and I was like, what? Why didn't you tell me from the beginning? Because, I love his stuff. But she's like, because I was telling her about my, astral projection and out-of-body experiences, and she was like, my dad did that. And I was like, what? I just looked at her like, why didn't you tell me this from the beginning? Okay, he had journals of his experiences. Like, do you know what I do to have these journals? And his house burnt down, and all of it went with it. But he was even took up to Roanoke, I think they said, and like examined in the 80s. I said, yeah, we put that way. But anyway, but yes, like he would tell her stories of places he went, things he's seen, and I was so like, oh, to have these journals in my hands and reading them, you know.
Right. Yeah.
For me,
to meet somebody like that, yeah. No, I'm not.
Because it's different when I. Go ahead, darling.
What? No, go ahead.
Well, see, when I first started with my experiences, I didn't know what in the world was going on. Like, I was into the paranormal. Like, I was, like, grew up hearing the ghost stories and stuff like that. And definitely, you know, believed in abilities and stuff like that. But at the time, I was so, like, you know, I really didn't fully understand. I wasn't very educated into it. So at the time, I thought I was haunted. So a lot of my, you know, everybody has to do soul searching. And over the past 10 years, you talking about some soul searching.
Yeah, trying to find yourself or your path. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, in the past 3 years. Yeah.
Well, when you're when you're actually put on a path, it's almost like you have to trust spirit, and you know, it's literally like that old exercise where you fall backwards and they catch you. You rely on spirit to catch you. And just accept the path that you're on and hope for the best as you're on it, because it is scary. Anytime that you take a path, accept Spirit's guidance and say, you know, okay, I'm giving myself over, you know, guide me. It's some pretty scary stuff, because you have to, at that point, you have to take guidance. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're talking about your spirit guide.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I have a habit of
about
talking
my
over
spirit
people.
guide.
I don't mean to.
That's fine.
My spirit guide, I know I have one at least that I know of, because I'm well in tune. It kills me because I want to be the ghost whisperer, and I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, I'm not very good at puzzles, so it irks me. But my spirit guide, he likes to come through, and, like, everybody picks up on him. And he's helped us on investigations and stuff like that. But I remember the first time, and it was last year, that I actually knew his name and stuff, but I was self-doubting myself. And so a lot of people out there that's going through this and realizing that they are more, you know, a lot of people go through awakenings and are finding this out later on in life, like me, myself, and my spirit guide, you know, I've spoken with my spirit guide, I've seen my spirit guide, and for some people, you know, of course they're going to think they're crazy because of the way, you know, you communicate and everything. So it's definitely a different experience. And, you know, what I tell people too when they're on the spiritual path, I'm like, it's letting go. You have to really let go. And you know, everybody talks about letting go of the ego, and that's true. It's very true, because you have to let go of that. And you know, it's like learning to walk again, but in a different way spiritually, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you have to accept Spirit's guidance, and to be honest with you, you know, whenever you first start on a path, make sure that what you're being led by is a positive energy, and you'll be able to tell that very quickly by, are you helping or harming? And if you see people healing, if you see, you know, tears of joy, if you see, and I'll be honest with you, look for details too. Are you getting details? Are you seeing people? Are you able to describe people? Are you able to describe locations? You know, I hate to say this, I tend to be really, really hard on mediums and on psychics, because I look at these and I study cold reading and hot reading, and if all they're giving someone is I feel this, or I think this, and they're not saying, look, I'm seeing your grandma and she had some really weird glasses that she saw or that she wore. They kind of pointed at the end, kind of cat-eyed, and she had a mole on her face, and she always wore her hair up. Those are the kinds of details that you need to be able to give give people. And if your spirit guide, is giving you that, and I think sometimes we're the antenna and then they guide us, so we're probably receiving that, but they're guiding us to the right people. I'm going to give you an example. I am someone who is paid for her work, but I am drawn to people. I say that, and yet I am drawn to people. And if I am drawn to a person, I have to read them because Spirit says so, and that's it.
Right.
That is it.
Right.
And so I was actually in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was doing readings there. And I had this young girl. She came in with two other girls. Well, these two other girls had money, very upper middle class children,
right,
and or young ladies. And this other girl, I knew immediately. I mean, she just didn't quite fit in, and yet she was still friends. But I was told by Spirit that I needed to read for her when the time was right. So I gave her my card and told her I would do a free reading. Well, I'd forgotten about it. I said, when you need me, contact me. I had forgotten about this. And about 3 months later, this young lady got back in touch with me via email and said, I've saved up some money. Would you read for me? And I'm like, oh, my God. I was moved to tears and said, of course I will read for you gratis. Spirit has told me that, you're to come to me for a healing of some sort. And this is a spiritual healing. It's not physical. But anyway, I said, I will call on Wednesday night and talk with your mother and give you, I want you both together because, I just feel that I need to do this. Well, I called on Wednesday, and 2 days before that, it was like a week before, 2 days before that, or maybe 3, her aunt had died. And so, see what I'm saying? Spirit had set it up so that at the exact time that they needed Spirit,
right,
I did the reading. And so I began to read, and I was seeing their house and, the mother's bedroom and describing, it was all in black. It was really weird. But anyway, just describing these things. And then I said, she's telling me that she is at the funeral parlor and she is in front of the coffin. And this is what she wants you to know. There are tiger lilies, yellow tiger lilies at the bottom of the coffin. Her head is pointed towards the left. She is dressed, and then she showed me she was dressed in a black suit. She showed me a black suit with a white flower, but then the flower melted into the suit, and it became a pattern. I said, what she's telling me to tell you is that she's been buried in something that's black with a floral pattern on it. So she wrote me back, and I kept the email. She wrote me back a few days later and said when they went to the wake that she was laying there with her head to the left, the tiger lilies at the foot of the coffin, and she had been buried in black pajamas with a white rose pattern all through it. So so you're looking for detail, and that's what I tried to deliver. And every reading is so different. It really is. But the most profound readings for me are the ones that Spirit connects with, if you will, and brings to me. I don't know. It's just. I'm going to give one more example, and then I'll let you do another reading or another question. But I had a young man sit before me, and he was a young Native American. And I immediately saw a trailer and 2 chairs. And I told him his father and his grandfather were there together. And I said, grandfather is saying not to follow his father's path, that is not the path for him, that he is to follow his grandfather's path. And then the grandfather started speaking in Cherokee, and I don't know Cherokee. So I'm desperately hanging on to words. And then I come back and I say, I guess, a few words, and he starts crying. And I asked his sister, I said, does that have meaning for him? And she said, oh, yeah. And the young man came back to me the next day and thanked me profusely, and so did his sister. So that's the kind of thing that you want to be able to give people, and Spirit makes that possible.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's awesome. And, going in as a paranormal investigator, doing what I do, when I first went into the field, I mean, and this is my passion, this is what I love to do, I love to help people in any way possible, whether it be just through investigative or, and later on during investigating, things do come to me sometimes. And, I'm not, if people say, can you read me? I'm like, if it comes to me, then it comes to me. I'm not even going to go there because I'm not that good, and I tell them I'll direct you to somebody that is. But I definitely, that feeling you get, that, and I can't, the best way I can describe it to people is when we've helped somebody, it feels like you've been repaid already in that spiritual sense. It's very overwhelming. I get teary-eyed and like a big old baby, and
No, I understand completely what you're saying, because it is such a relief for people to contact people like yourself that are experienced investigators and can kind of guide them through something that is terrifying them, in part because they simply have no experience, and because I always say the energy is different, and so because it's different, it's terrifying. The unknown is always terrifying. And so, to me, one of the best services that people like yourself bring to these people is simple education. It makes it less scary.
Exactly. Because, most people like to go to the worst. When we go into something, they're like, it's demonic. And I'm like, oh, man, don't even say that. Don't even say that word. And,
exactly.
You get in there and it's like Papa, Papa still going through the hallways, y'all.
Exactly.
Even, and that's what it's all about, going in there and helping these people and educating them. And that's something that I love to do. And, I'm not, I'm not anything, but, you learn along the way. And then what you can teach somebody can teach somebody else. It's an ongoing process. Like, and there's so many people out there that's misinforming other people, and I'm like, all you do is like put your head down and shake it, because I just keep scrolling. That's my comment. Just keep scrolling.
Well, I'm glad that they, as I said, that they have people, though, good teams that are resources. And, the really good thing about that is when you have an established team that follows a protocol and, gets results and is able to educate the people that you're working with, that gets around very, very quickly. And one thing I'm finding at this point is that the really top-notch teams are staying, and we're seeing a lot of people leaving the field. And part of that is, although it's still popular in culture, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing as many shows. We're not, I don't know. I'm just not seeing an expansion of the paranormal empire that we were seeing so quickly for a while. So still very popular, but I'm also seeing some shakeouts, so that we're losing some teams that might have been less than, how shall I put it? I hate to use the word stable, but less than there for the long run,
Right. Well, there's a path.
I don't want to insult anyone.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of good teams out there. We've interviewed a lot of them, and we talk about the same issue as the fame chasers, is what we call them. And let's get into this because I tell people, I'm like, listen, if you want to do this, there's adrenaline in this, but you have to think, first of all, if you're going into this, be educated. A lot of them will be tough. They'll have to learn on their own that it's not what you see on TV. It really isn't. There's a lot of work. Not only that, and there's a lot of education behind these. You just can't watch Ghost Hunters 10 seasons and all of a sudden you're a paranormal investigator. And I'm still learning, but that's the thing. If you're able to stand up and say, I'm educated, I'm not as educated as I could be, but I'm learning, and everybody's still learning when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's something that, there are a few people that may have master's degrees in, but very few people have a PhD in it. It's a lifetime. It's a labor of love. I would like to mention one thing. I did mention I'm a paid psychic medium. I do charge for my services, but I never, ever charge for a missing persons case. So,
listen a minute. You must be looking at my paper, Pat. I swear.
What? Oh.
That's what I was gonna. I'm telling you, every question that I'm about to talk about to you, you bring up before I get to ask them.
Yeah. But honestly, to me, there's a popular medium, and I'm not mentioning the names because I don't like getting sued, even though it would be more difficult to sue me since she has passed. But she, you could almost see a Dorian Gray effect from when she started to where she ended, and you have to be very careful because it's funny. I asked Spirit once. I said, I've been gifted with this incredible gift. Am I ever going to be rich and famous? And I heard Spirit say, enough. You'll always have enough. Right. And, that was a glorious thing. So, it does bring a peace to you, I suppose. So no, I'm not one, I don't need 15 minutes of fame, but I do find joy in what I do. It's a great joy, I will tell you that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to let you know.
Yeah. Well, in a minute we're going to take a break, and then I want to really get into the missing person, people cases and stuff like that, because that intrigues me too. But, going back to what you were saying, about charging for your services, I definitely a lot of people out there, what they don't understand is people like you that are very gifted like you are get misused a lot too. And I'll bring that up, and I'll be very openly about it, because you misused a lot. A lot of people will come to you over and over. If you give them a free reading, they're going to be calling you every day, wanting a reading, wanting to know, this and that.
Well, and I know we're about to. What time are you going to break? About 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do this really quickly.
Okay.
It's very, very difficult it's a very energetic thing. Like when I do massive amounts of reading, like if I go I'll go 10 hours and not even take a bathroom break. And I even tried to take a bathroom break when I was at a recent convention, and I got jumped as I was leaving the booth by someone, and I actually finally had to start backing up with a thumb out, like yoo-hoo, backing towards the bathroom. So, but it's an energetic thing, and there is in the universe. I mean, I always ask people, in your other spiritual world, do you pay your preacher?
Right.
Yeah. And why? Because there's a transference of energy, and I actually get sick. I'll often come back, and if I've given too much energy, I will get sick for a day or two. I have to be very, very careful. I have to ground, and I have to shield sometimes. And so there is an exchange. But I never, if I am told that I am to read for someone, I will give them my card. I will read for them free of charge. That is spirit. I always know know when somebody is hurting, when somebody might not have enough. Believe me, I always say I put as much into this gratis as I get out of it. I do have a day job. I'm director of marketing and public relations for a college, and I also have a master's degree. So we're not all nuts, I mean, so many people. Well, you know what I'm talking about. So many people. It is a con, and they're cold readers, they're hot readers, and they're doing it for the cash only. So yeah, there you go. I get money so that I can keep doing this. I actually travel quite a bit doing this, so it makes that possible.
Yeah, well said, Pat. Very well said.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. I got you. But we're going to go to break, and you can just stay on the line. And I think I got a little Lindsey Sterling here with some hailstorm, so we're going to rock it out on this break.
All righty.
All right, guys, we are back on air with Miss Pat Bussard, and we are having fun here tonight, and definitely a great interview. I know on this second hour, I think I've got Ryan coming on, joining us, Pat.
All right.
Are you with me, Ryan?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
You're here. Welcome.
Sorry, hey, Pat. Sorry I'm late. I was listening to the interview at the beginning, about to get off for a little while.
I thought when you were at the party.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to it at the party, but then I had to get off because people were asking me what I was doing. So now I left the party, and so I need to get caught up a little bit on what you guys were talking about, because I didn't get to hear the whole interview.
Okay.
Oh, well, you have to listen back to it. See, that's the great thing about this.
So.
I'm going to stop just for a second. I'm going to let you guys talk for just a second. I'm going to go screen this call real quick. We've got a caller.
Okay. So how you doing tonight, Pat?
Ryan, I am doing well tonight. Was the party for your daughter or son?
Oh, no, ma'am. It was for my grandma. She turned 86 today. 86
you know
years
what?
young.
That's an awesome celebration for sure.
Yeah, yes. And she had a great time. We all got together, had cake and ice cream and had presents out, made a big old bowl of spaghetti and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow, it sounds like it. Good. Well, hopefully you'll be celebrating her 100th birthday before long.
Hope so. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. I was telling Holly that I spent the weekend, I was working on some writing I had, and then also I was editing photographs. So, yeah, it was a productive weekend. Plus, I was hanging out. I got to tell you, I was hanging out with my main man, Ken, so call out to him.
Nice.
I'm going to bring this caller on, guys. How about that?
All right. Cool.
Okay. we got with us tonight?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. This is John.
Yes, sir.
Hey, John.
Hey,
John.
What's going on, Ryan?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So is Miss Emily listening in tonight?
Yeah, she's listening now.
Well, hi, Miss
What's
Emily.
wrong with the phone system?
Hello, Emily.
Hello, Emily. Hi.
She's been into little cartoon anime stuff. We're talking to Pat and Holly.
Well, that's cool.
Yes, I had the opportunity to meet Emily. She's a talented medium in the making, and her parents were concerned about her being able to shield and kind of deal with what's going on with her. But she seems to have some excellent family support. I think she's in good hands. Plus, Holly, I know you and some other people have been working with her, so she's making progress.
Yeah, when I heard you come out, that's when I first learned about you, Pat, and the things that were telling me. I was like, I can't wait to meet her because spiritually, I'm very into this. A lot of people are in the paranormal field, but they're not so much into the spiritual side of it, and this is something that as far as pathwise that I've found that I'm really drawn to, the spiritual side of investigating and stuff. But of course, keeping myself grounded on the scientific part of it.
Well, I have to ask, not ask, but also mention Michelle Harold has worked. She's a medium that works with your team also, and she's also worked with Emily, has she not? Yeah.
She has. She definitely has. And, big shout out to Michelle. I know she's probably listening.
Absolutely.
And she's a big help to us and the team. Mm-hmm. And communicating back and forth with the family. I know, I said we've all created a big bond, and I think that's something not only with our families, that you do, but other people in the paranormal that you really connect to and bond to and are on the same, spiritual level with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, do you have a question tonight?
Well, I was going to reiterate on some things that y'all are talking about now, and some things, that we've had to face that you and I have discussed in person, trying to raise a child in a Christian family and that has the gifts that she has. It's really hard to tippy-toe and walk on eggshells around a lot of people doing this.
Definitely.
Well, I understand, and if you look at the development, the historical development of theology, that's really at the basis of many of the Christian churches. There were two events that occurred, one in the 4th century and one in the 14th century, that basically said it was all good and well to have these abilities as long as you were a member of the priesthood. But if you weren't, then you would end up like Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was not burnt because she was a witch. She was burnt as a heretic, which meant that she heard the voice of God directly without the need of a priest, and that put her on very perilous turf. And so, yes, I could see where that would be very problematic. I have a friend, though, who is an actual, he's a spiritualist. I mean, spiritualism is his religion. And as soon as someone mentions anything like that, he can actually, he can quote Bible and verse, of different areas where it's actually not condemned at all. In fact, it's elevated. So if you'd like for me to get those verses from him, I would be happy to share that with you.
Oh, sure. And maybe you can email it to me, or we can meet up again sometime soon.
Sure, I'd be happy to. When I was there, Emily had actually mentioned that she liked. I think she was wanting some moonstone, wasn't she? And, of course, moonstone is a very feminine stone. It vibrates at a very feminine level. And it also helps open your psychic ability. So hopefully that's been able to help her a little bit also.
Oh, yeah. She just has a problem communicating with Mom and Dad a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Usually we can sense things with her, and sometimes we just have to feel her out.
Right, right.
She's a teenage girl, too.
I was going to say, yeah, it happens, it does. But I also understand, Well, she's been very fortunate to have you as and her mother as parents because you'd listened to her, and that's so important.
Yeah, and she knows she can come to us anytime with any problem or concern or question, and if we don't know the answer, we know where to turn to find it.
Exactly.
I think
and that's a good thing about having Holly and them close by too. Yeah, I feel like Holly's like a sister to us.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm the sister, the wild sister you never tell anyone about.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell John this. I'm gonna tell on you, Holly, in a good way. I want you to know that Holly got in touch with me after you had told her that I had come and spoken with Emily, and she was very protective. Her energy was mama protective of Emily, and I appreciated that because I knew that she was looking out for her best interest. So, yes, Holly, I was picking up on that.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I'm like that with everybody. I'm like, listen, because as well as I do, Pat, in this field, it can get very, I mean, not everybody's good. They can come off like they are a good person, like they are for the light, that they work in the light, but they're definitely not. They have a dark presence among them. And it's not that case. Not everybody is that passionate about it. Not everybody's out there to really help people. And that's
no, you're right.
I could preach all day about how much I want to help people and how passionate I am about this, but unless you know me or feel, like you're doing, you can feel that energy from me. So,
right.
I'm not BSing you, but,
no.
A lot of people do that to people, and I've been through it, and I know you've probably been through it with people like this that come off that way.
Well, I'll be honest with you. No, I certainly appreciated the energy that I was picking up from you. It was protective, but it was also open. I mean, it wasn't closed, obviously, because we had a conversation. But whenever you have a child involved, I would never meet. I've actually had a counselor call me, and she has a child who's going through puberty, and of course it's ratcheting up just like it is for Emily. And she wants me to meet with her, and I said I would if her mother were present, and she would be present. That is the only way that I would work with a child. But you have to protect them, and it's a good thing that she has such a good team around her as she develops this.
Yeah. Because, like I said, a lot of people would take advantage of it, and I'm not about that. I'm not at all. I mean, I'm poor. Hello, people. What
Let me tell you
not
something.
make money off of it.
Do you know what? Honestly, poor is okay. Like Spirit said, enough, and it freaks me. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's so weird. It's like whenever I really want something, Spirit provides.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not wanting a Cartier watch, or something that's frivolous, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it seems like I don't know, it just seems like I always have enough to be where I need to be for that person that's supposed to come to me. I'm going to mention this reading just to exemplify what I just said. I was at where was I? I was in Lexington a couple of weeks ago, and I was giving readings, and this woman came to me, and she was in a wheelchair, and she wanted to get in touch with her mother. Well, as soon as her mother said, "My name is Jane," I mean, she was that strong, and came across. So I started talking with this woman, And her mother was showing me her, and I said, she's telling me that you weren't like this when you were born. She's showing me that you ran, and she said, as a child, and she said, yes, I did. I said, and this happened to you when you were in your early teens, because she was showing me again. And she said, yes.
Right.
Well, she was one of the victims who was shot. Is it Paducah, Kentucky?
Yeah.
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 The children that were shot. She was one of them. And
oh, wow.
anyway, just an amazing woman. But anyway, yeah, that's how it works. But anyway, go ahead. Your turn.
I forgot what I was going to say.
But no, if you were,
she's a lot of words, Pat. Mark that
I can't
down.
believe that. But Holly, but Holly, you had mentioned whether to charge or not to charge, and as I said, I never charge for a missing persons case, but I don't take every case either. Only if I feel strong enough to make a statement, and only if I feel that the people involved have come to the place where they could accept that someone has passed.
Right.
I have a case right now that it's actually in the family, and I haven't stepped up for that because there's people involved right now that they're just not ready for that next step.
Right.
Here's another thing I got to tell you. There was do you remember that young man, your local, that disappeared in Johnson City? Was it Johnson City or Bristol? Anyway, he disappeared. And I put, whatever his name was, Jonathan, whatever his name was, call home on my, and I was playing it forward, his missing information, played it forward. Well, this woman got a hold of me and said, he can't call home. And I said, do tell, why? And I knew where this was going, and she said, because he's dead. And I said, do you have any more information? And so she wrote out a very elaborate scenario, and I'm not saying she didn't have talent, I'm just saying she was way off. And and I said, well, let me tell you what I see happened. He got irritated with the parental units. He jumped on his little bike. He pedaled into the darkness. I said there was someone that he knew, not much older than him, who had an apartment, lived somewhere where he could stay. However, this person's getting really nervous, and the boy's going to show up. He's going to show up at the police station, or his friend is going to show up at the police station. Well, I'll be darned. 6 hours later, this kid is at the police station, right? But here's the deal.
Yeah.
If this woman would have contacted those parents and had offered her, quote, help, it would have decimated them. You see what I'm saying? This is a very heavy. It's a very heavy task.
Yeah. Well, when people do that, it's not only their reputation that they have on the line. It's everybody's reputation that has a medium, that does mediumship work. That's everybody's reputation, because that's going to ruin it for that family, because they're going to think, oh, my God.
Well, to me, the important aspect of this, dealing with energy day in and day out, is that if this woman would have contacted a mother who had no idea where her son was and had given her a very elaborate vision of what had happened to him. I mean, if I were a mother, I may have found the nearest bottle of pills. That's what I'm saying. And this is a very heavy burden. When people, I just gave a presentation at Scarefest, and I asked the people in the audience, I said, do you think it is a blessing or a curse? And everybody's thinking, that very pretty little blonde chick with all the energy, and it looks like so much fun. And everybody's saying it's a blessing. And I said, this is a very gray area, because yes, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse. I mean, think about it. When I talk with someone and I get in touch with their father, and their father has had a heart attack, and he wants to show them, hey, I'm in the room. This is who I was. He'll give me his heart attack. It's like a phantom heart attack. And then I'm saying, I can't breathe. I've got pressure in my chest. It hurts. He's having a heart attack. And then I'll tell them how he fell. He fell forward on his face with one arm straight out. Nobody saw him until the next morning, yada, yada, yada. So that's what I'm saying. You're living that. And I think that's something that popular America is not picking up on. They're seeing these shows, and it looks like you're just partying through this, but you're not. You're dealing. My daughters always say, "You leave them crying every time, Mom." But it's not like a sad cry. It's a healing cry. It's like that next step to healing. It's a relief. It is. It's a relief. Thank you. And missing persons it's a very touchy subject. I was called in for a missing persons case, and about 8 months ago, maybe less, I don't know. But anyway, I actually told the people in the room, the relatives, the exact trail that the dogs took in following this man. Exactly where they went, and then exactly, down the road, I said he went up a hill. I said he found the railroad tracks, and they said, oh, my God, that's where the dogs went. And then I said, and he just walked. And I told them what it looked like, what he was able to see from the hillside. And I have a picture that someone sent me of the place where they actually found him, and it's exactly the way I described. So it's a blessing, yes, because you're able to help people, but it's also a curse for the person, because we are feeling the emotions of the people that we're dealing with, and not only that, but we're feeling the emotions of the person who has passed. Think of that, what they felt when they died.
Yeah.
If they committed suicide. Now, I want to make one quick point, and then I'll give the floor back, and only because I think it's important. Again, popular media. Remember The Sixth Sense?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, every time, he saw somebody who had passed, it was always, they had a hole in their head from a shotgun blast or whatever. That's not how they present. I'll give you an example. I was reading for this one couple, and they were so upset because their uncle had committed suicide. But of course, they hadn't told me that. But I said, "Look, I see him on a bed. He's in a hotel. There's a bottle of booze." I said, "It's shown in the bed, which means he probably consumed it." And I said, "And I'm seeing the number 22, and I'm sitting there looking at him, and then all of a sudden it was like he's standing there, and he's like, 'You dodo,' and he picked up a 22 gun. I said, 'Oh my God, it's a 22 gun.'" And that's what he was trying to tell me. But my point is, he didn't show me blood splatter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He showed me, They will show me how they died. Like he held up the gun, and I may have even felt it in my head, but I don't see that aspect of it. People don't show up as old and decrepit or dead. They show up in the spirit realm when they were their happiest. So I always say, remember what their actual hair color was, because nobody's going to show up with gray hair if you've got a choice. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got a question. This might sound kind of dumb, but when you have a vision, is it like almost like a daydream, like in your head, or is it like in front of you where you can see it but nobody else can?
Let me tell you, talk about astral projection. It's so weird because I have both. I call both what we call flash clairvoyance, which is when it's going on. It's can be in my head, but it can also be stronger. It's in front of my face, where I'm actually like looking into. Imagine looking into a mirror, and I'm seeing it in front of me. But then there are the times when I'm actually out of my body and I am wherever it is at. I'll give you an example. I was reading for someone, and I was actually, put where this person had been, and I am describing at the time that they had passed, and I am describing everything in the room, and then all of a sudden I'm jerked back in my body. But the thing that you look for are those details. So I have learned, even with the flash clairvoyance, to hang on to every detail because it matters. And so yeah, I have both. Actually 3 when you think about it, because I can have it in my head. Like when Holly was talking with me the other day about an investigation, I asked if a certain woman, and I described what the woman looked like. I said, is she either the client or someone closely involved with the client? And so, that was just something that popped in my head. But then if it's stronger, it would be like I would be looking right I would be there with her, but just looking at her. And then there are the 360s where I am there, and I'm looking around. I can look 360 and describe exactly what's there. So I do. Wow. I do 3. Now I also hear, because I have my spirit guide. My spirit guide talks to me. I can hear the spirit. Like I said, the woman's mother popped up and said, "My name is Jane." And then sometimes I can smell things. Like I smelled somebody. I was like the other day, I kept smelling vanilla, and I finally said, "Look, did she love vanilla?" And that was her favorite. I mean, she had vanilla perfume. She had vanilla, soap. She had vanilla was her thing. So so that's how it is.
Wow.
I think it's funny, cool, Pat, that you're talking about all this, and I was talking about I'm still trying to really explore what's going on with myself, and some of the things that you're talking about is a lot of the times I'll say remote viewing because I've been jerked into them places before too, and when I've been working with Michelle or with Dallas, the other investigator on our team, and I've been to places before, and I've been completely out, and it's so funny because it was actually surrounded around a spirit around Michelle. So, we've all worked together like that before. But it was funny because I was out, and I didn't realize it until Jonah comes up to me and pecks me on the shoulder, and it scares me to death, It's not that I'm completely out, and I'm over here looking at this old lady, and she's pointing at me, and she's talking to me. No, Jonah comes and pats me up on the shoulder, and I'm just screaming, and everybody in the house starts laughing at me, and I'm like, wow, that was intense. And I've done that a couple of times. So, and to me, I mean, I love it, and I'm sitting there looking at every detail and coming back and typing out because that's my thing. And Michelle's always jumping onto me. She's like, keep a journal, Holly. And I'm like, what if I just type it out to you? Would that be better?
Right. Well, there's so many different aspects of spirit communication. One of the things that I try to avoid happening is channeling. I don't like channeling. And sometimes, like if my spirit guide has a message and I'm not given it, sometimes I can get channeled. And what happens, it's awful, is I don't hear it until everybody else does. It's like my brain isn't even involved. And I try to prevent it. I mean, not with spirit guide, obviously. Spirit guide has free reign. But with spirits, I don't like that. It's like giving up your body. And it's a really freaky feeling. I don't like it. But, I'm going to give you an example. One day I can also see auras. And so I was telling this man what he wanted to know his aura. And I'm looking at him, and it's like not good. We're talking dark gray and black. This is it. I mean, he's on his way out. And I'm looking at him, and I lied, and I never lie. I said, I see dark blue. And I started saying what dark blue is about. And then he said, that doesn't sound like me. And then spirit channeled. And it was like they said, I just went deadpan. And I said, then I'm afraid you're going to die. And he looked at me and he said, well, I didn't say it. Spirit said it, okay? It was a message from Spirit. But anyway, he looked at me and he said, well, I know that, honey. He was real nice. I know that, honey. I've already been told by the doctors I've got 3 months. And I heard Spirit say, a month. And I'm like, I'm not telling him that. I have my limits. So,
everybody, back off a little bit, okay? Give me a little bit, a little bit.
But no, I didn't say that. I was trying to tap dance out of that. That's what I'm saying. I've learned I cannot lie with spirit. And I'll tell you something else about that. If I try to sugarcoat anything, spirit leaves me like that. So it was done. I was done for the night. When that happened, I was done. It was like, okay, you have to tell the absolute truth. What you see, hear, feel, smell, whatever, you better be telling everything. Yeah. And so I've learned I have to do that. I mean, because
so what happens after?
Do it anyway.
after the spirit leaves your body? I mean, how do you feel? Is it like just being hit by a truck, or what?
No, nothing. I mean, if it's my spirit guide, I feel nothing. It's like I have no control over what comes out of my vocal cords, but it's a very symbiotic relationship. Yeah.
I got
very symbiotic. Yeah.
So, Pat, I know you also investigate. You've been out with a lot of teams, and how long have you been doing that?
Wow. I actually started a team in 2008, but I've done it for years. I don't know, a long time.
You've been doing it since you were born.
Yeah, pretty much ever since my first memory. I got to tell you one thing about having spirit guides. I'm sorry.
Y'all hear that? I don't know. I keep hearing like interference or something.
I hear.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
I thought that was John talking. Is he still on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But I will tell you the last time I was on a show, this happened too. I'll send you a link to it. It's so wild. Right in the middle of the show, all of a sudden we've got this talking that goes right over us. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it didn't sound like John to me, honestly. It sounded like a male, but not John. I know John's voice, but it's happened on this show with us before. And
it has. We've had some
weird
stuff happen on the show before.
Well,
it's funny because
right now I got some activity going on in my house, and written out, and Holly knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Jonathan.
And I think there's some stuff going on with him. He's trying to get our attention. But we've got
I think that was him trying to. Go ahead.
Is he trying to come through?
I'm pretty sure because that male that I'm hearing was not Ryan or you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't me. I thought John was trying to ask a question or something. That's why I just assumed it was you.
I was going to say that Kim's grandmother had, before she passed, she started giving her things away, you know. And she had this little aquarium-looking thing that has, like, fish that go around in a circle and it lights up.
Yeah.
And he used to entertain her and sit and watch it. Well, it's on the top shelf of a bookcase we have in our family room, and I'm sitting here staring at it, and the thing looks like it's having an earthquake. And then Kim, I'm trying to get Kim to look at it. It won't shake while she's looking at it, or she's just not seeing it right. And Emily's like, well, I can see it shaking.
Emily's like, y'all are goofy. Like, I know what's going on.
So I just wanted to make you aware of it. Something freaky is going on. I heard a whole lot of movement in the house.
I heard a male coming through when Pat was talking earlier, and I was like, I knew it wasn't you two because I know exactly what Ryan and John sound like. So, yeah, interesting. It happens when you have all this kind of energy going on a talk show.
That's it.
A freaking awesome talk show.
Exactly.
That's right. It's freaking awesome. But Jonathan's somebody that has entered our lives, and
yep.
I think I tried to tell you about that, Pat, the night you left here.
What was that?
About the house down the road from where we live.
Mhm.
And you said when you left here, you was shutting everything down.
Burping flag was on the
door. Yeah.
Well, he's been traveling between our house and another friend's house and Holly's house. And
right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's trying to make himself known.
Right.
Jonathan's a Civil War soldier, yeah. He's trying to get a story told, and he's been doing an awesome job at it because he came to Jonah, and Jonah said, Mommy, there's somebody with me. And, of course, being the mommy, I always go to, go back to bed. Then he comes back to me, and, he starts telling me about this guy that's with him. And He's killed a lot of people, and I'm like, okay, my 7-year-old does not make up stuff like that, So here I go to the paranormal investigator side of it, and I'm asking these questions. But anyway, it's interesting, very interesting story. But speaking of that, Pat, like you are an author too. Look at here, Miss Multitasker. We need to get together.
Yeah, actually, I have a book. It's 30 True Tales of the Weird, Unusual, and Macabre. It's actually got a foreword written by Rosemary Ellen Guiley, who I met when I was writing for a paranormal themed magazine and had interviewed her, and we'd struck up a conversation, and she was kind enough to do that for me. Of course, I said having her write a foreword to a book, a nonfiction paranormal book, is like having Stephen King write the foreword for your book if you write fiction horror. So I was really pleased with that. I'm working on my second book, which is called Southern Spirits, The Ghosts of St. Albans Sanatorium. So I'm working on that right now, and I've got a regular feature in Phenomena magazine, which is going to be starting shortly. And so, kind of excited about that. And I've written in the past for, had a regular column called Haunted America for Ghost Voices magazine, and just, Haunted Times magazine. I had a column called The Evidence Locker and several magazines. But, yeah, I'm a former reporter, so I just kind of parlayed that into my passion in the paranormal.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that you writing about St. Albans, because I actually went to Radford University.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, ma'am. And actually, I had a doctor at St. Albans, and I went there right before it closed down. Not like I didn't actually live there or whatever, but I had to go see a doctor over there, and he was in the basement of St. Albans right before it closed down. So that's pretty neat that you're writing about that place.
It's an absolutely, I call it this, everybody in the South has that one aunt that still keeps herself fluffed up and her hair done nicely, even if it's gray, and she wears her lipstick. But when you get in her arms, like she puts her arms around you, you can smell that faint odor of decay, even with all the beauty and the love. And it's a very feminine energy there. I really do feel that. And so, I'm excited to be working with Marcel Hanauer and Jessica Odell and, the rest of the crew down there in actually producing this book. Oh, it's beautiful. And let me tell you what, I got to mention one thing. One of the reasons I really get into this, I'm heavy into photography, especially low-light photography. And one of the things that it really gladdens my heart to see are all these people taking photographs of these places, because so many of them are in a precarious state. And within 5 years, we're going to be losing more and more of these old and haunted locations. And it really is a shame, because when the building's gone and then the people are gone, if no one's taken the photos, if no one's written the stories about these places, then it's almost like watching that last puff of smoke. It just disappears.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I agree.
I was gonna tell you, I think I told Pat when she was here before, but my mother was an inpatient at St. Albans, too, for a long time.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's an interesting place.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
I never
when I was little.
It's an interesting place. It definitely has some energy to it. I had an event happened on the second floor in the children's wing. I had an investigator run out of Jacob's room and say, "Come in here, you've got to come in here." I said, "All right, but do not tell me anything." So I walked in, I stood 18 inches from the wall, and I felt this little hand push, like just keep pushing me. It wasn't a one-time deal. It was like, get out of my way and this, just move. And it was really bittersweet whenever you feel that kind of energy. I know that there are some investigators say, oh, there's never a child ghost, and I'm like, what? But anyway, I digress. But yeah, this young energy, was trying to push me out of the way, which was kind of neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even get why anybody would say there's no child spirits.
I know.
That's crazy because. Go ahead.
Oh well, I guess they feel that I'm not quite sure what the foundation of that argument is. I don't get that. I will tell you that I have if anybody's interested, you can go to Coast to Coast AM and Google my name, and I have I actually have a photograph of St. Albans that I took that's going to be the next book cover, and it's got a story about St. Albans. If anybody's interested in finding out more about this beautiful haunted place. But the reason I mentioned this particular photo, I was actually taking the photo. I was down on the actual ground or on the wood floor, and I had my tripod as low as I could get it. And I saw this nurse walk by. And I thought, how interesting. So usually, when especially if you're not really engaged, you're trying to bring the energy to you, it can save. But this nurse stayed as solid as a rock, went up and then took a left into one of the rooms. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And it occurred right before I took this shot. So anyway, it really captures kind of the essence of St. Albans. But yeah, if anybody's interested in reading the story, you can go there and pick it up.
Cool. That
Definitely,
great,
and
man.
then I'll share all this on our I'll share all this information on our Facebook too as well, Pat, and your website and all that too. But going back to being a columnist and your writing and all that, when did you really get felt like you was hello?
Oh, I'm with you. Hello.
Did y'all hear that?
I heard. I thought it was, is that the guy again trying to come through? I heard it too.
That's a guy. He said, hey.
I'm still
that's
here,
not
so.
John.
That wasn't you saying, hey, was it, John?
We figured out who this was here at the house.
Who?
It's not Jonathan. It's another boy spirit.
Like a
wow. Well, there's a male, and is everybody hearing it? Because I sure am.
I heard.
His name is Matt.
I got you. Yeah.
Is this the same Matt she spoke of before?
Yeah. He just recently came to us. I grew up with him a little bit. He and his brother and I are the same age, and he was just a little bit younger. He got killed in a boating accident out on a lake, and I'm kind of shocked that in a way that we're getting any activity from him, but I guess in another way I'm not, because Emily's like this huge beam of light that attracts everything.
She is, and not only that, I think that when you get people together, like you got Miss Pat over there, she's shining bright too, so.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, this male, I don't know. We got to figure this out, guys. Pat.
Yes.
So what I was getting ready to ask you was, when you said that you was a reporter before, and I know you're not too far from me, and I know there's a lot of like haunted locations down toward the Abington area and stuff. And as far as like being a reporter and on that side of it, and then bringing in the paranormal, how was that transition for you?
You mean, as far as going from covering city council to, trying to get the backstory on a haunted location? Actually, the skill set, is very beneficial. It really is. That everything I picked up as far as research and writing, when I was doing the Muggle thing, which was the the reporting. I've been able to transition that, and what I produce, I try to do thorough research when I am able to. When I'm not, and I'm not able to get enough sources, I simply state it is a legend, and then here's what I have been able to find out about this particular story. I will tell you, after St. Albans, I would like to do one fiction book. I would like to do one fiction book, because I've got so many ideas, and I want to transition into that and then back out, because I think my true passion really is nonfiction paranormal, simply because these stories are going to be lost unless someone tells them, and I like some of the stories that are less talked about.
Yeah,
well.
Oh, see, that's the kind of locations I like to go to, and stories, and
right.
and people ask me, they're like, in the world to investigate, and I'm like, I just want to go somewhere that's never been investigated, and blah blah blah. I'm like, I like these places that's never been touched and have all this history, and we're in, like, I live in Southwest Virginia, John, I mean, there's so much history in this area, and it's untold. There are stories handed down, but it's never confirmed. There's locations that's never been touched, just like the Wise Inn. That's our baby that I've got in my hands, and I'm like, oh, it's my baby. But, definitely, I agree, Pat. And it's so funny that, during public relations and stuff like that, and I'm getting ready to turn 30 next month, and I was going to start going to college for public relations. Yeah.
Well, I can
thought
it would.
I would, it took me a long time to decide. Like, I've got 3 kids, so I'm still raising them, but I figured it's better now than anytime. You could be 50 and still go to college. I'll be 60.
That's true.
Oh, we've had people in their 80s graduate from college from where I work. So yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I would recommend. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no! You mentioned going into public relations. If you're wanting to go into something where you're learning writing skills and how to write and that sort of thing, journalism is still one of the best places to get that. And also, believe it or not, unless the numbers have changed, about 80% of people going into public relations actually come from the journalism field. Because think about it, who better knows how to work with and handle public speaking in front of a mall of press people than somebody who's been in that mall with them. So,
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So anyway, just something
Definitely.
to consider.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I think I wanted to use it more into, like, in the field more, kind of like a tool, for me in the field and stuff. But because I'm like, I love talking to people and I have no issues with that. And it's just definitely something I want to go and work on, because as somebody, I started having babies when I was 17, so. Definitely a switch and getting on your kind of life track of things. But anywho, I'm going to attempt it.
Well, go for it, girl. I'm all for it. I believe in everybody helping other people. I mean, I never understood this whole idea of jealousy of someone getting ahead or that sort of thing. You make friends and help others. It really does work.
That's right.
It works out
you
for you.
Uplift others. That's something I'm very passionate about too. Is you always want to tell people how wonderful they are. If I can tell somebody every day how beautiful they are, or just give them a compliment, I do it, because you don't know how much it makes somebody's day. And they pay it forward.
Right. Right. Yeah.
True.
But I want. I know, a lot of people, I think when it comes to to jealousy and stuff like that. I think they let their, egos get in the way. And not only that is people tend to compare themselves to others, and what they don't realize is that everybody is different. Not everybody has to be the same. That's what's beautiful about, being human, is that we're all different, and we can show that in different ways, not by being a follower but a leader.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, Pat, I want to talk about upcoming events. You got to tell us about some things that you're going to be doing here in the future.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I have, I'm going to try, I need to get up to St. Albans for another photo shoot. And what I'd like to do is actually set it up. Last year, I set up, the individual scenes. I still want to do that, but I also have an idea for a horror series that I'm wanting to do, and then I've got a magazine that may be interested in that, but I don't want to name them yet, but I'll put it on my website so everybody can check it out. I've also just sent a story in about Hollywood Forever, if you're familiar with that. It's a cemetery in Hollywood, California, where all of the talented and young were buried back in the golden era of Hollywood. It has, in the Cathedral Mausoleum, it has the burial chamber of one Valentino, Rudolph Valentino, and there's a woman in black who's supposed to still come and visit him, and she's actually in a ghostly form, and you can hear her crying, and also magically how this happens, I don't know, but supposedly a red rose actually appears in the vase outside of his burial chamber. So, it's a really interesting place. So just follow that with Phenomenon Magazine. I have some events in Marion, Virginia that's going to be going on in October. So, if you live in that area, catch that. And then also I have a writers' convention in Johnson City on the 11th of October. So it's going to be a busy month.
Woohoo. That's something I was mentioning. You hear that? What is that?
John, is that you?
That was me saying wow a second ago to all the stuff that, Pat's got going on.
Well, I didn't hear no wow, but I heard a voice definitely trying to come through.
Hey, listen, Pat just got dropped. Something's definitely going on.
Well, that's weird.
It is very weird.
I don't know if it's this little boy's energy over here, but
it's just a typical night for us here on the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal show.
It definitely is, and I'm going to try this.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 27697.
Well,
I got a nice voicemail box.
Nope.
There. We can leave her a message.
I'm still learning the screening thing. She should call back. Yeah, there she goes. Hold on just a second. Hey, we lost you.
Welcome
I know.
back.
I had no idea. I was sitting here, and the next minute you guys were gone.
I know.
Are you picking up anything over this way?
Do what?
This is John. Are you picking up anything over here? Can you sense anything? I know what Emily told me.
Am I picking up on what? Oh, you mean psychically picking up on anything?
Yeah.
Okay, is she talking about her playmate, the young energy that she interacts with?
No, this is a newer one.
No, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting a younger energy.
Well, he's always around, seems like. He's usually not that noisy.
I know that you were talking about, the recent demise of your friend. But, when I was there, the energy that I saw around her that was really strong was the younger energy. So.
Okay.
Well, like I said, we've had stuff like this happened on the show before. So, but I definitely kept hearing a mail coming through, and then right before Pat got cut off, Ryan, we was all hearing something then, weren't we, Ron?
Yes, ma'am. We sure were.
Do you all happen to tape these shows?
Oh, yeah.
We do.
They're automatically archived out as soon as they go off the air. So we have a whole year full of shows.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'll link it over to you, Pat, too, so you can actually share it. But I want to get ready to wrap up the show, but first I wanted to tell you thank you so much for coming on the show, Pat. I really appreciate it. And like I said, we're going to share all your stuff on our Facebook. Everybody, you can we have our website and everything. I'll post it. And hopefully we can figure out what kind of spirit, who's messing with this on here, because there's definitely some spirit interaction going on.
Oh, no.
Well, no,
definitely.
I will tell you that the energy I felt around her was the young energy. The energy that I felt, as far as the interaction electronically, was something else.
Okay. Yeah, Dan.
But let me suggest something too. If we do this again another time, maybe you could have 3 or 4 people, and we could do some readings or something like that. So if that's something
definitely,
that would pursue at another time,
that'd be that'd be awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, maybe we can do it for like an hour, because maybe Emily could do some too, but do it and make it a short period of time, because it really is energetically stressing. But maybe an hour, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely work out good. But again, I want to thank you for coming on the show, and I appreciate it. Ryan appreciate it. We all appreciate it.
We definitely appreciate it. Sorry I was on so late.
It's been real, guys. Thanks.
No.
Thank you, Pat.
All right.
Tell Emily I said hi. Bye.
All righty.
All right.
Well, it was fun.
And John, thanks for calling in.
Oh, thank you.
Buddy, thanks
and,
for calling in.
No problem, man. I'll be talking to you again soon.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself.
All right, darling. Love you guys.
Love you all too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Well, that was fun.
It was very fun. I think we still got Pat on with us, don't we, Pat?
I think she left.
Yeah.
Hello?
She left. Oh, you're still here. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought I'd turned you guys off.
You're fine.
Okay.
We love you too, Pat.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a good show.
That happen a lot.
I totally missed you.
We've had a lot to happen a lot. We've had energy on our show. I remember when you and Jake were together. I mean, it was like, damn.
Yeah, me and Jake.
Get a room. I should let you guys be on your own.
I know. And
all the energy you guys are giving
right,
off.
and then Dennis. Me and Dennis together too. It's.
Well, Dennis is Dennis, so I mean, yeah.
That's so funny.
So how'd you like hosting the show by yourself for the first hour? From what I heard, you did a really good job. It's like, of course I wasn't surprised by that. I knew you were going to do a good job, but.
Oh.
Were you nervous?
Well, I was nervous
anything?
at first. Yeah. I was at first. I was like, oh my God, because I'm just testing this mic and stuff out for the first time, and now I've got you weren't, Ryan. I know. Because now I'll be hosting, and you get to call in from now on, and I know how you like to walk around and everything, so.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I was walking around before. One thing that I had to worry about was letting people call in to the show.
Right.
So once I figured out that you could do that, and I didn't have to worry about that anymore, I was good to go.
Yeah. I can see why.
So are we
I know
still
how
on the
you
air,
are.
or is it still on? Are we still on the air, or has it gone off yet?
I think it went off. I think we're in our archives.
What time is it? I can't even tell.
I can't know. It's 11.
Oh, sweet. Now we can Now the party can start.
The after party.
Well, the after party, yeah. The VIP room. All right, you got to get past the velvet gate.
Exactly.
But you're on Casper's show tomorrow night. That's going to be fun.
I know.
Who's
it's gonna be different.
I think she's with. I think Tasha Starr is his guest, is his co-host tomorrow night.
Yeah. He said Tasha Starr and another girl. One of them's out of Lexington, Kentucky, and the other one's in Virginia somewhere.
Yeah, well, Virginia's just taking over the whole URN network.
I know, right?
It should be called the VAR network, because that's pretty much more than half the people are from Virginia. But that's going to be fun. We had Tasha on the show. God, I don't know, a few months ago, and she was pretty cool. She was pretty cool girl. I think you guys are gonna talk about energy. Shoot, you could probably fucking power a house without energy. That's gonna be on that fucking show tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, he said there's gonna be a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's gonna be a show that I'm gonna be glad to listen to, for sure, as much as I can.
I always have to test the waters when I go on these shows, because I'm not sure of, like, of course, I'm always on full spiritual, that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like really comfortable with the people, like with our show, even with the guests that come on our show, it always takes me a little bit to get warmed up to them. If I don't know them, I don't know how to act a certain way, you got to kind of test out the waters and stuff.
Right.
But I mean, Casper's cool. I mean, and you'll be fine on their show, because like-minded people. We're all looking for this. We're all the same goal, to have a good show. Of course, you were talking Casper's on the show. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Just making sure, because maybe I lost you for a second. But yeah, you've talked to Casper before. He was on the show with Dennis last week, and you fit right in that show. That's for damn sure.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, talking about woodworker facials. I mean, you start talking about that shit. I mean, you'll fit right in.
I had DJs calling in from Richmond, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Did that guy called you, was talking to you after the show was over? I mean,
it's the accent. That's all it is.
It is. I mean, why do you think I keep talking to you? If you talk regular, I wouldn't even bother with it. What the hell?
I know. What is right? Talking right. Maybe this is right. Maybe you're talking wrong.
Me, I'm talking wrong? Well, shoot. You think maybe since you're going to be in Charlottesville next week, let's take the week off and then come back for the birthday show.
Okay.
In 2 weeks. That way you don't have to worry about it. Nothing. We'll just let it play a replay. Because shoot, like Casper was telling me last night, he was about to cancel the show last minute because his guest canceled out on him. So I'm guessing that if we cancel the show, it won't be that big of a deal if we don't have a show next week.
Yeah.
You just kind of give you a chance to relax, take care of your son. Do what?
It's become a part of my every Monday thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why I felt like I had to call in. I mean, even until the last hour, I'm like, I gotta call in. I mean, before it's kind of annoying, like, oh god, I gotta do this shit. Now it's like, sweet, I gotta call, I gotta talk, I gotta put myself, I gotta get on the script a little bit.
That's no, you had to call because you had to hear my twang.
That's what it is. I had to listen to your twang.
You had to get your nightly fix of Monday night.
Of course, I listen to your twin every day, so but it's different at night. That's what it is. Now that I know you can send me videos.
That's what it is.
Like,
on Monday. Don't tell everybody that.
This is us and a few hundred of our closest friends. Don't worry about it. Brown chicken, brown cow. What?
Oh, God.
Hey, you're going to be really close to me next week. I am so tempted to drive up to Charlottesville next Monday.
I know.
And say,
it's a 5-hour drive from here. So.
It's only a 45-minute drive from here, so, yeah.
Shit.
I mean, it's just saying, come to Richmond. This is your chance. Bring Jonah with you.
It was funny.
Show him around.
We was on our way back. My mom was with me today, and we was on our way back from his doctor's appointment, and he said, Mommy, he said, where's Ryan live? And because I was telling him, we had to go to Charlottesville, and he said, does Ryan live in a big city? Because I was telling him that Charlottesville was a pretty big city,
Yeah.
And he's like, he's talking about it because he's seen some of the videos that you sent me, and it was, he's like, are we going to ever go out to Richmond? I said, yeah, we're going to go.
Hell yeah, man! I could take him to the park. I'll take him to Williamsburg. It's only 45 minutes from here. The beach is not that far from here either.
Yeah.
But yes, it'd be more for a summertime trip. Of course, it won't be crowded if you go to the beach now. Shoot.
No.
I mean, yeah, we could take him to a baseball game up here and take him to the Science Museum. There's a bunch of stuff. I mean, there are no Woodburgers up here, obviously. So,
Darn.
I mean, that's a disappointment, but I'm sure.
After the video you sent me today, I've come up with a new hashtag.
What? Which one? The Slimer Squeeze one or the Gonzo with the penis on his face?
No, that's Gonzo. It's called Ghost Boogers. I said
Ghost
Woodburgers. Ghost Boogers.
Yeah,
Ghost
facial.
Boogers.
Ghost Boogers.
Yeah. Ectoplasm.
Ghost Boogers. I think Ghost Splooge better. Ghost Calm. What are we saying? We're talking about that. Like get an ectoplasm facial or something.
Yeah.
There's
hashtag
a
that.
For you right there. Ectoplasm facial. There you go.
Keep. there you go.
We keep creating all these great hashtags.
Get your ghost booger. I know. I don't know where they come from because I'm not that smart of a person.
It comes from our sick minds. That's where it comes from. Sick, twisted minds.
The freakiest side of the mind. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, man. I got my fucking Mario and Luigi Slimer. It's me, a Slimer. I'll come and get the ghost of spatial.
It's me. Y'all just don't even know what Ryan does in his office when he's all alone. It's.
Oh my God! I wish I could put some of those videos on my Facebook page, but I have my family on there too, so I can't really, I've got to.
What?
Keep my. I gotta keep my little.
You gotta look normal.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I gotta be like Clark Kent, and then when I talk to you, I'm like super. I'm in the fucking phone booth taking off my clothes and shit, and coming like the fucking horny Superman or whatever. I'm like horny man with the apes on his chest, and the cape.
You
Yeah.
You should let your freak flag fly all the time, Rod.
Yeah. I should. But yeah. I like to freak flag fly with select because a lot of times it has a lot of questions I don't feel like answering. So I'm like, you know what? It's best to just let, be a certain way for other people. And,
I'm a nobody.
Yeah, yes, I'm just a good young Christian man. All I do is study Bible verses and go to church every day. And, yeah.
Oh my God, you're so in the closet.
Yes, I am. I'm a closet freak. But I let it out sometimes. I let it out. I let a lot more than I used to. I used to be like really deep down. This time last year, I hadn't even been on the radio yet, and now I got a radio show. I mean, the first time I was on the radio was with Dennis and Matt, and it was
Lord.
They were talking. Yeah, it was like trial by fire, and they were talking about history, and I had just joined ASPS, and they were asking about all like how I. Because originally I was a historian for ASPS. They asked me my my methods, methodology of how I do my research and stuff. And I just, I just started. I'm like, I don't really have a method. I don't know. I just go ahead and I look, because we just finished Bell Nemus, So I was like, well, I go to the public library, and I, very nervous, very saying yes sir, no sir.
Right.
Dennis he was like, seriously, what the fuck? Quit saying sir. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. It was like, I don't know. It was like a reaction, I mean.
Dennis is intimidating.
Oh yeah, he's scared. I mean, if I'm on the air with him, he scares the crap out of me. If I'm hanging out with him, me and him just talking.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I get this kind of intimidation thing from him when I'm on the air with him for some reason. Like the other day, I was hanging out, everything was fine, but we're getting on the air. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking CPR Dennis. It's like I know who it is. I know who I'm talking to, but it's like, oh my god, CPR Dennis. And they know what I'm saying. It's Ryan Jones. It's freaking Ryan. So he's got this reputation. And even before I got on the show, reputation. I mean, I don't even know what my reputation is. It's probably more like a vanilla reputation, like, oh yeah, he's there. He's there too.
What is mine then?
Do what?
What is mine then?
Well, you're more out there, as far as
out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have people calling me asking me to be on their show. I mean, the only reason I was on the show last night is because I called in, and they said, "Oh, you're on the air? You come on. You want to talk? Okay, sure." I wasn't,
whatever.
But yeah, I mean, your reputation is definitely good, because a lot of the show's definitely gotten a lot better. I mean, I think it was terrible when I was hosting it by myself. I mean, I don't know. I'm partial, because I think it was awesome when I was hosting by myself. But I had to bring you on.
You had to bring me on. If I remember, kind sir, you asked me.
Please come on the show. Yeah, I was tired of hosting by myself. I mean, like I said, but it's not impossible to do. Like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
My biggest fear was having somebody who wouldn't talk, who can't talk on the show, as if I'm a host. And you're like, oh, great. Now what do I do? Because
what do I
got 2 hours still, and I'm fucking floating. I'm like, I'm out here without a fucking life jacket on, sweating water here, and my guest isn't talking.
Yeah.
Never had that problem.
Yeah, I was nervous on this one, hosting by myself. I was more nervous about the shit working right, like getting in the studio and making sure the numbers called in. But now I've got that all figured out, and then I have my questions wrote out, and I'm glad I did. But you know how I do with my questions, and even though if I don't go by them, I still feel secure with them. The questions there.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, I mean, the way I look at it is, it's just us talking. And you're just not more of an interview as more of a conversation. I like it. You want it to be rigid, like, oh yeah, you did this, oh you did that, I mean, they can look up Pat. They can look up Pat, and they can see what she's done. Obviously, but it's good to get her like how she feels, and like when I asked her about like what she sees when she has visions. That's stuff people don't know, because they don't never experience it.
Get more deeper into it.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
Well, for a lot of people that's listening, you want to really get into it. Like, you really want... Huh?
So are there people still listening to us? Yeah?
I don't know. Is anybody listening to us?
I mean, I'm
really?
out in the studios. I don't know. I can't see.
No, nobody's on here listening but us.
Oh, okay.
Talking.
Oh, good. We can talk smack about all the people we know.
You know that Ron guy? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, he is so fucking hot. That's what I'm there.
Oh, my God. I know, right?
He's sexy, and he knows it.
So did you get to hear my song?
I did. I actually heard it halfway through. I'm like, because when I signed on or called in, that was halfway through the halftime song, and I was like, "What in the world am I listening to?" I wasn't even sure what it was.
It's Lindsey Sterling. Do you know who that is?
Who?
Lindsey Sterling.
Oh, no.
Ron, really? Oh, my God. What am I going to do with you? I got to school you.
Oh, I hope you do. I hope you wear like a plaid skirt and like a little button-down white shirt, you know, with his glasses and a ruler with you, if you don't mind.
I'll do that.
Sorry. Was I talking out loud there? Yeah, my bad. That's my inner monologue.
You was talking with your mind.
That's right. I was talking with the wrong mind. That's the problem right there.
Wrong head.
Oh, talking with the wrong head. My bad.
Funny.
From what I hear, I mean, it was okay. Like I said, I only got to hear part of the song. Our next show is going to be big. We're going to make it huge. Now, I have a question. Since it is your birthday, do you want it more to be more just your birthday and just that's it? The Holly birthday party? Holly Fest?
No. It's
or do you want to keep the Holly Ryan Fest because my birthday is like 5 days away? My birthday.
No. It's a duo.
I want to give you the opportunity, half the day to yourself. But if you want to keep it on the Holly Ryan Fest, I mean, some people love their birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people love their birthdays.
Would that be you?
No, that's my sister. And she'll be like, "Oh yeah, my birthday's 6 months to my birthday." I might start talking about my birthday like the week before.
Yeah, this is a big birthday for me because I'm turning 30. So.
Yeah, big 3-1, dude. I'm gonna turn a big 3-7, so that's not a really big birthday. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool that we both have a birthday the same week, so we should definitely play that up for sure.
Yeah.
And we should
definitely.
I think we should have a free for all. I mean, it should definitely be a host party. I don't know if we have people call in if they want to call in, but I don't know if we should book guests or not for the show.
Right. Just let it all hang out.
Have people call in. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do what we usually do when we have the host party, which is just us talking, which is what we're doing right now. Which I almost think it's more fun to do this because there's less pressure. Because we know each other and we're basically just talking to each other, and we have to worry about, guests and stuff like that, or giving guests enough time. Yeah. I mean, I love having guests. I mean, I love having Pat on the show. I love when we have guests on the show. But it's a different kind of vibe when we have guests.
Yeah,
it's a good
I agree.
Vibe. Most of the time.
Right.
We've never had bad
guests
it's just before.
No. We never have bad hosts either.
No. Well, that's true. I mean,
never.
I mean, that's one thing we don't have to worry about. But I like talking. I like doing supernatural, the news and stuff like that, and I think that'll be a fun show.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I was so nervous at first. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to say the same shit over again because I was like, I'm sitting here waiting on, whoever to call in. And I'm like, what if I don't talk enough?
I don't have to worry about
that. Sit there.
My biggest fear is letting people, like, not showing people too much. I really don't know what I'm talking about half the time.
Right.
So I'm not an expert on anything, really. I'm always learning. So I'm always afraid of making a mistake and saying something really stupid, and guests be like, "What are you talking about?" And like, oh, like earlier when I said that maybe like when the spirit left her body during the the channeling, I thought maybe it wore you out. But she's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, shoot. All right, then.
Well, I mean, no, that's a good question because I think it's not so much when she says spirit, she means like her spirit guide, but like an actual spirit coming into her and like taking over. I'm sure it is very draining because when they do readings and stuff like that, you know, you're tapping into that.
Well, that's what I thought. I'm like, well, then then she was talking about how, you know, if she doesn't. She tried to fight it off, but sometimes the spirits take over her. Now, I don't know if she meant spirit like the spirit guide or spirit as in general spirits.
Yeah.
I'm sure her spirit guide would be gentle with her, but maybe the spirits who are not connected with her would just use her and, you know, spit her out.
Right. Well, so usually what happens if spirit guides her, you know, and you'll find this in a lot of mediums that you'll talk to, and they're like, if spirit... You know, if spirit, and it's always not spirits, it's spirit. If they say spirit, like multiple, like you usually know that's when they're talking about, spirits coming to you, like being overran or something like that. Because like what happens with like, you know, really good mediums like Pat and like Michelle and quite a few others, and I mean, just like she talked about, you have to really shield and protect yourself because what happens is you really get overrun by these spirits, and it's not that they're trying to take you over; it's they want help just like everybody else does. So, you know, it gets intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. What you say? She's from Abingdon. That's where my aunt and uncle live out in Abingdon. I've been out there.
I've been
out there a few times. Yeah, my aunt and uncle live out in Abingdon. I've been out there a few times.
You know what? Probably just about 2 hours away from me. Not even that.
Well, shoot, I've been meaning to go out there. They have a house on the. They have a house on the lake, a river. I don't know what river it is.
Yeah.
But it's like it's on right on the Creeper Trail.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
Huh. Yeah,
It used to
I've
be
heard
a train
a lot of people
Creeper.
go bicycling down there.
Yeah, well, yeah, they have a house on the Creeper Trail. Anyway, I've been hiking up there on the Creeper Trail. I've been, was it Mount Rogers?
I've never been hiking up there.
It's nice.
I've never been hiking up there. I don't know. I've heard, yeah. There's a lot of people around here that go, like I said, hiking and bicycling.
Yeah, it's not. I've been hiking in a while. Like I said, I haven't been down there in a long time. But I've been down there to Abingdon. It was a long time ago since I've been there. I might try to bring Rihanna down there sometime. Maybe next spring, probably.
Definitely. Yeah, you'll have to do that, and then we'll have to come down and meet up, and because it's not too far away from you, so.
Well, that's not bad, man. And then telling Pat, shoot, she's going to talking about St. Albans. I'm going up there this weekend.
Yeah,
we're going to Radford
that's
this
cool.
Weekend anyway. Yeah, man.
I feel so like it's funny because like all these locations that everybody gets to talk about and gets the bond over. I'm like, I've never even seen it. Like I've never.
Oh man,
like, I haven't left
a
Virginia.
Great place.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, like she was talking about Jacob's Room, and I was there with my friend Rhonda and Paranormal. I went there in April, end of April, and we were sitting there in Jacob's Room, and all of a sudden, the fire truck, this little play fire truck, the siren starts going off by itself. So I walk over and I pick it up, and I'm like, thinking, well, it's probably just the vibrations, making it go off. So I pick it up, I twist it around, nothing happens. Finally, I push the button really hard, then it goes off. So I'm like, okay, well, put it back and roll it back to where it was, then it goes off again. And I was actually listening to the EVP session We did. I had my recorder going, and it was, the way they kind of loud, but, they're talkative, but they still get results. So we were talking and stuff, and
right.
all of a sudden, out of the blue, our voice comes through and goes, Albert. And then there's nothing. I mean, it wasn't any of us saying Albert. But there's a lot of activity. I'm going to say there's a lot of activity in that particular location. And and she was right when she said, and when I was there, I actually went to school there. I had to see a doctor because I had a bit of depression being away from home. And so instead of going to, counselor, they said they'll send me to the St. Albans, which, just because you go to St. Albans doesn't mean I was, committed or anything like that. I went there for, an hour and then left. But I remember there's just a feeling of sadness there. Very sad place.
Well, that's funny because, when you get all the emotions into a place like that, it definitely, it's almost kind of like a sponge.
Well, when I went there, it was middle of the winter, all right? And everything was gray in Radford. Gray, the trees were gray from the bark, the sky was gray, even the ground was gray. And they have, and it was getting old. The place was getting old. They'd have park benches out there to make it look like a park, make it look nice. It's really old and decrepit looking. And you could tell that it was on its last legs. So you look out and look off into and you see how they was trying to make it look pleasant, but maybe it was a long time ago. But the fact that it's not pleasant anymore, and it's just a more of a show of how it used to look, I think, and that was just really depressing, really sad, and I think it's just maybe just how the wintertime gets, where it just gets cold and bitingly cold, and it's just sad, and this is how I felt when I was there, and I know, I don't know how Pat feels about it, but when I was there, when I was actually in the care of that location, it was like, I don't really want to be here.
Hey, so
for an hour.
Does this new mic
do what?
Good? Do I sound okay? Okay?
You sound good.
Good.
Are you going to start doing your show? Are you start doing the show from your mom's house from now on, or what?
No, I'm not at my mom's house. I'm at home.
Well, you're at home. I thought you were doing it at your mom's house.
No, I've got my boy's PlayStation headset plugged into the laptop, so that's the mic. But it has the option in the studio to call out from your computer, and the last time I tried that, it wouldn't work, but it does now, so I don't know what was up with it.
Hopefully it'll keep working.
Yeah. And, I haven't been kicked all night.
I mean, there's no big difference between hosting the show and not hosting the show, really. I mean, we can both do the same things.
Right.
As far as, playing music and shit like that.
Well, it never label is. I'm still going to be, doing whatever I can. I'm like, whatever, I'll do whatever I can to help. What are you doing? Jogging?
What? I was walking downstairs.
Are you jogging or something?
Yeah, I went for a jog. I got nothing else to do, so might as well go for a run.
I never know about you, Ryan.
Well, I did that earlier when I was at the steps. I just walking down the steps, grabbing a beer. Time to relax.
Oh.
So we'll skip next week's show.
Okay.
Throw in an archive show or something, and then I gotta figure out how to do that, because there's a way you can run shows you've done, just shows from the archives, but you got to do something special. You there?
Huh. Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I was thinking maybe I can. Sometimes when I play around with stuff, I can get good.
Well, I think you have to be there. You have to be there and set it up so because once you hang up the phone and we disconnect, the studio goes to, I guess, Terrify. You know. So I think we have to be there right before the show starts, and we could. And Dennis said something about. I don't even know if he knows how to do it or not, but he said there's a way we can play an archived show. But then again, I mean. You know, if we say we're not going to be on the air, then, you know, people can find an archive show, listen to it whenever they want. So I don't think that even think that makes a big difference, to be honest with you. You know. I mean, I realize that people need to get their freaking awesome. I knew that people need to get their fix, their freaking awesome fix. And I want to oblige them. But, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
We'll just leave them wanting more. So when the Ryan comes up, they'll be chomping at the bit, salivating, waiting for it to come back on the air. You know.
So I know what to do, like in our video to like when how I add pictures of like our guests and stuff and what we're going to be talking about. To we should add like I'm going to steal pictures from when you was younger off your Facebook. And pictures of me, and we'll like put them on.
That'll be fun, yeah. Because I got a bunch of old if you look at my old school folder on my Facebook page, you'll see a bunch of old pictures of I got from my grandma. I'd uploaded to show my family up in Detroit. That would
I'll do that.
A bunch of old pictures of us. That's gonna be fun. That's a great idea. And then we should just say, get on the Mullins, get on the Facebook page so that look, we enjoyed the show. We're gonna take next week off, but we'll come back in 2 weeks with the Ryan and Holly birthday bash and get it out there so people maybe we can get people to call in like Dennis and whoever wants to call in and just talk.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Shoot the shit, you know. And then
see how many want to call in for a virtual spanking.
Yes, I guarantee you, you want to spank me. That's for sure. I mean, my ass cheeks will be just fine. Yours, I might be, bright red from all that fucking spankers you're gonna get. I mean, mine's gonna be like, I'm gonna sit down just fine. You're not gonna be able to sit down at all.
You got to fight for first place.
No, there's no fight for first place. There's no comparison. It's gonna, at least I don't mind. That's fine. You can have the smallest spankings. I'll be the first one in line, smacking that ass.
It's gonna be a fun show.
Good times. Then again, people maybe no one will call in. We'll be like, nobody loves us. What the hell? Oh my God.
We'll just have to entertain ourselves. Fuck you.
We hate you. We kill you. No, they have no problem entertaining ourselves. We just fucking go nuts on the board, fucking playing shit. We'll show you guys.
Yeah. That's right.
That's
you
right.
don't love
me. We don't need you anyways.
I'll show
you anyways. That's right. We don't need you guys. Look, we have the soundboard. Woo! All right, well, I'm going to get off.
Me too. Already did.
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh, yeah. I still got to do that. I got to watch me terror porn. Woo! Jerk off thinking about the woodbugger facial. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Slimer splooge.
Eat your strawberries first. All right, I'll talk to you on the flip side.
Coconut tastes like suntan lotion. What? All right, I'll talk to you later.
I do.
All right,
okay,
bye.
I'll talk to you. Bye.
Hey.